What's good, fight fans? You already know it's your boy Bando back at it with a fresh episode of Combat and Kick It, because we have some major fight announcements that just popped off last night. Now, last night I tried to make a video so I can get it out quick enough, but unfortunately something happened with the freaking camera. It didn't want to go through, didn't want to actually work for some reason. So I'm here again talking about these fights. Good morning, and let's get into it. Let's fucking go. Let's go. So Dana White hops on to Instagram Live last night, and you know, anytime Dana White hops on Instagram Live, it's a 50-50 shot. You about to get something great, or it's about to piss you off. But last night, we got some great news. We got some dope fight announcements. We got some debut announcements. We have a huge fight card announcement. So, to start it right off, Patricio Pitbull, if you're hip to who he is, Patricio Pitbull from Bellator, former champion and everything like that, finally got signed to the UFC. In his late 30s, been probably wanting to fight in UFC for a long time, but stayed very loyal to Bellator. When Bellator flopped, it seemed like PFL did not take all the Bellator fighters. I don't really know how that whole situation ended up happening, but a lot of Bellator champions did not transfer over to PFL and become champions or even get signed to PFL. So a lot of them sat back as free agents. So Dana White picked him up. Dana White's got him. And this, to me, started the whole swirling change of everything, right? So Patricio Pitbull gets signed. Well, he needs a fight, right? So who's he going to fight? They set him up against Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez was normally set up to fight Diego Lopez. That fight gets scratched. You switch it. Yair Rodriguez is taking on Patricio Pitbull in Patricio's debut. That's a massive fight. But now you sit back and say, well, what about Diego Lopez? You just canceled this fight. You just kicked him off that fight. Who's he fighting now? Diego Lopez is fighting for the UFC Featherweight Championship. Not against Ilia Topuria either, because Ilia Topuria vacated the belt. He finally did what he said he was going to do. He said he was done with 145. He feels his spot is solidified. He feels he doesn't have to do much more than what he already did. Knocking out a guy like Alexander Volkanovski, then proceeding to knock out Max Holloway all in the same year. That's some top tier shit. So he feels like he could ride right out of 145, saying he accomplished everything he needed to. Saying 145 is becoming a tough cut. He's going to 155. No specific fight announcement yet. Obviously, us fans, we know what's up. We know where this is going, right? This fight's he's either going for a number one contender fight against Charles Oliveira, or he's going to be fighting Islam Makhachev as the next title challenger. There's no other way to go with it, right? So Ilya's moving up to 155, vacates the belt. So who is Diego Lopez fighting? The former featherweight champion, arguably one of the GOATs, Alexander Volkanovski. Can Volk hop back in the win column, get a W against a guy who is on a hot streak right now? That's a huge question. But along with that fight on that card, fantastic fight, huge fight. It's for something, right? It's an open championship now. The whole division is open now. Someone is going to be the new featherweight champion at UFC 314. But the UFC 314 card is stacked. So let me tell you this real quick. All right. So looking at the UFC 314 card, obviously the main event, Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Co-main event is Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Then you got Yair Rodriguez going up against Patricio Pitbull. Jeff Neal taking on Carlos Prates. I love it. Carlos Prates, you already know I'm riding the hype with the fighting nerds. Carlos Prates is my boy. That's a huge fight for him. If he can get past Jeff Neal, that's elevating him. So I love that fight. Then you got Dominic Reyes is going up against Nikita Krylov. Can Dominic Reyes stay in the win column? I personally believe so. Against a guy like Nikita Krylov, he should be able to go in there and get that one done. Should be a good fight, though. You got Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. Ooh, that's going to be a banger. Jan Jounin versus Virna Jandiroba. Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper. Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. Cedric Dumas versus Michel Oleksiejczuk. You know I can never say that man's name. So we got some massive, massive fights on that card. UFC 314 is already stacked. It's already stacked. But the crazy thing is, that wasn't the only announcement that we got last night. Another title fight has gotten announced. Major. Bilal Muhammad. He's got to defend the welterweight championship. And it's not against Shavkat Rakhmonov. It's against Jack Della Maddalena. JDM is going in there and is going to become the new welterweight champion. Mark me words, mate. Mark me words. No, I could be wrong. I could also see Bilal getting this fight, laying and praying JDM to a 5-round decision. It's very, very possible. But obviously, you're sitting back saying, well, Jack Della Maddalena was supposed to fight Leon Edwards. What happened with that? That fight got scrapped. Someone else had to step in and fight Leon Edwards, though. Leon can't go without a fight. So Sean Brady, another welterweight on the come up, trying to make a name for himself, trying to get to that next level, is coming in to fight Leon Edwards in Leon Edwards' hometown for the main event. So we got some fights switched. We got some fights announced, but we got some fights. You know, I'm super excited for the featherweight fight. That's a huge matchup. The co-main event to that one for UFC 314. I mean, we went from Michael Chandler to Conor McGregor to Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. That's wild. That's wild, but makes sense. Michael Chandler's got to fight somebody with a decent enough name, right? But he also now, with the way he has lost, has to fight somebody coming up. There is no other option. You have to fight somebody coming up now. You have to defend your position against somebody coming up. So, perfect fight would be Paddy Pimblett. What a great co-main event. It's a 5-round co-main event. Paddy better hope that it doesn't end up being 5, because if it gets past 3, Michael Chandler's taking that fight over. That's my prediction. That's my early prediction for now. But looks like spring is going to be pretty exciting, man. It's going to be pretty exciting. I feel like I'm missing some announcements too. Like, I still feel like I'm missing something in here. So, after taking a peek, doesn't look like there is anything else special that I missed. I got all the announcements set. So, there you go. Some dope news, some quick news, just to let you guys know what's going on, because those were definitely major announcements, major fights. So, I'm coming through with the announcements, so you already know there will be a breakdown, so you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. We post episodes weekly. I don't know why we say we. I post episodes weekly. Every week there is an episode. Maybe sometimes 2. We're going to be trying to make it 3. But weekly I post. So make sure you hop on, follow up. We're going to be getting some reels out soon too. I really suck at the reels, but we're going to get the reels out soon too. So just make sure you follow up on everything. Follow up on the socials at Combat and Kick It. Combat and Kick It. Make sure you follow everything and stay tuned. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Your boy Bando's out. Peace.